Cinesmack contains spoilers of the spoiling type. If you don't want your spoilers spoiled, please turn back now. Otherwise, enjoy the show!
Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds. Lawrence?
Ladies and gentlemen! Welcome to the main event! This is Cinesmack!
Smacketeers, and welcome to Bout 173 of Cinesmack, the podcast about films by filmmakers. I am your guest host, Andrew Zimwalt, tonight, and joining me tonight is our panel of award-winning judges. First up, we have filmmaker and owner of One Genome Short Productions, Gabriel. Relax, soap, and don't flatter yourself, Pee-wee. What's
FUBAR?
Well, we may just find out, won't we? Next up, second writer, actor, and director Kyle. Well, your sister is very, very fine.
Hello, everyone. You know what Mike and Jack Palance have in common, other than their teeth and gum lines? They both have an affinity for ugly, hairy creatures. Just ask my mom's beaver.
Wow. Wow, that was
Yikes.
Coming
that was
in.
really.
There's a lot of history to that.
I like the.
Now you're gonna have to explain it at some point.
No, I don't.
There's a different.
Holy shit!
What? Wow.
Mike's my stepdad. This is my headcanon.
Different. Well,
Just
ladies
went
and
there so
gentlemen,
soon.
this podcast just changed. Wow. Okay. Next up, third filmmaker and owner of Cheshire Moon Films, Tom. My shit always works. Sometimes. Haggis.
Hey everyone, welcome to our contribution to birth control.
Fourth filmmaker and owner of Southsider Studios, Mike. We were wondering if we could borrow some brown sugar. Keeler.
Tango and Cash. Rats in a maze. Men in a cage.
All right, let's go ahead and we'll poke that monkey and we're going to find out what we're talking about tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, models of machismo and ruinous rapscallion, welcome to the main event. Tonight, two pairs of police officers will tangle and clash to see who can cause the most mayhem against unlawful lads and who will end up FUBAR. In the first quarter from 1989, written by Randy Feldman, directed by Andrei Konchalovsky, starring Sylvester Stallone, Kurt Russell, and Terry Hatcher. Tango Cash. In the second corner from 1995, written by George Gallo and Michael Berry, directed by Michael Bay, starring Will Smith, Martin Lawrence, and Taya Leone. Bad Boy! What you gonna do?
All right. Well, holy cow. I think we were talking a little bit about Tango and Cash earlier before we were getting started and how much I have not seen this movie in a long time. And I went ahead, I watched both these movies as well, but I have forgotten how much I really enjoyed Tango and Cash and how entertaining it was. And then Bad Boys is just purely a classic with, our explosion director.
If I may answer Gabe's question real quick, Gabe, FUBAR is actually a product made by Stanley Tools that I have out in my tool chest. They actually made a demolition hammer and they called it the FUBAR.
Wow.
Really?
Yes.
Kind of fun.
Isn't Stanley Tools a subsidiary of Johnson Augers?
I think they are.
I believe it is. Speaking of
Come
which, Johnson Augers, if you need a hole, we can dig it.
Yep.
Johnson Augers.
Johnson Augers, we
Yep.
can dig it. Sucker.
Never is going to
The
go
bit
away.
that
Tom.
never dies.
All right. Let's see what you guys thought of these wonderful movies. We're going to start our first round.
Whoa. Don't get
What?
ahead of yourself.
Why?
Don't get ahead of yourself.
No, don't get ahead of yourself.
I
These
wanna-
movies may FUBAR.
They made FUBAR?
They may be FUBAR.
They may be FUBAR. Well, we'll find out. That's the whole point. All right. Round one is writing. Tom.
All right, so let's talk about the magnificent deep stories that these two movies were able to encapsulate inside these cinematic masterpieces. So before we start, we kind of throw out the rounds, and I chose writing because I knew I had about 30 seconds to talk about it, and then I'm running out of stuff. Look, they're both serviceable stories for being 80s and 90s buddy cop action comedies. Are they action comedies? I think they're action comedies.
That is correct. Action comedies. Buddy cop action comedy.
Not comedic actions. Anyway, so I think the stories are there are a lot of action comedies out there that are, the scripts are much worse than this. But we're gonna kind of get into this discussion, and we've been doing the show for 14 years, and I feel like we have this discussion more and more. But I mean, these movies are pretty old. But how much of what we see in the final movie was on the scripted page, and how much of it was improvised? And I think it's safe to say that Bad Boys may have had some improvisation in it, especially with Will Smith and Martin Lawrence's background. But that being said, I think we'll kind of just judge the dialogue. Bad Boys dialogue is sharper and funnier and fresher. But I think we have the Bad Boys movie because there were movies like Tango and Cash. I mean, we're looking at the evolution of action comedies at 2 points in its evolution to, what we have now with Fall Guy and Free Guy and movies like that we have in the last couple of years. This is kind of where these movies are kind of heading to. I think, like I said, Bad Boys, I think, is a little bit more fresher. Tango and Cash was funnier than I thought it would be, and I think it was a pretty sharp script. But I think the where it lacks is in a couple of the later categories that we need to talk about, and I don't feel like the actors delivered on the quality of script that they were given. In terms of the plot, I still don't quite understand the fascination with his fascination with the rat mazes. Like so he's like designing this room, and he's like, yeah, I want a bar and a TV, and hopefully I can bring women up here and get laid, and like that's what the purpose of this room is for. And the guy's like, yeah, but I want to talk to you about this like countertop you have built right over here. What did you want in it? And he's like, I want a rat maze.
Okay.
And
Tom, I had written down in my notes, what is with all the mazes? And I never really noticed it until I sat down to put a critical eye to it.
Yeah.
But he's got a thing.
There's no explanation for it at all. And then
the
whole movie, you're just kind of in the back of your head, you're just like, what's with the mazes? And then he digs up acres and acres and acres of shit and makes a maze and sticks Tango and Cash in it. And and then he's surprised that they performed better than the mice. Like, has he not been paying? Tango and Cash has had your number at every turn, and then you're like, maybe I'll stick him in a maze. Well, the table is probably too small. I have to think bigger. And Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll use that giant ass construction site where I'm putting in a shopping mall. So I don't know. I did not understand the maze stuff. It didn't really make any sense. As far as
this
the
was
plot,
the late 80s. There was a lot of cocaine going around. There's probably a draft of this script where Jack Palance shrinks them down and puts them in that table. At least one late night script where they're like, "Why? We already got the table."
Yeah, that's
boss,
a great
boss.
idea.
Yeah.
Hey, boss, hear me out. Hear me out. I don't think shrinking them is the easiest way to go. You always say work smarter, not harder. Anyway,
Shut up. In 2 years, I'm going to win an Oscar for Curly's Gold.
I think
put him in the table.
Look, they're not heist movies. You know, they're not supposed to have very complicated plots. And Bad Boys is really like it's a really simple plot. Like the bad guys kill girl, and then they're just like want to get revenge and find the missing drugs. Like there's no double cross. There's no like, is he on our side? Is he not? There's just like, just go get him and say funny shit when you're chasing him. So anyway, I think I've talked long enough, but I think you know, I feel like Tango Cash is a much stronger script than what we were delivered by the people with the talking
thin
heads.
as one ply toilet paper. These plots here. Okay, here's what I thought of when you were talking about it. It's something I kind of been wrestling with how to describe. You ever been in, say, you work like an office job, or maybe you're just at home and either the white noise shuts out or your power goes off, and all of a sudden there's that complete absence of noise. So it's weird to think about noticing an absence, right? Because usually think about noticing when something is there, and you don't notice when something isn't there. But sometimes, and I think this just comes from watching so many movies, you notice the absence of a plot or a story, and it's a plot element that there is no plot. And you're like, wait, this is a bunch of tropes and scenes hung basically on nothing, like on a weird skeleton. They just assembled all this together. And that's what these movies kind of are. There's like really no reason for these movies to exist. They don't tell a greater story. They don't shed light on any humanity. They don't tell the truth of what life is about. They're pure entertainment, but they're so weirdly heaped on these skeletons, like you're talking about, the mazes. Why does Jack Palance like to make out with rats? Why does James Hong do nothing but take drags off cigarettes? And why is he the one person in these movies that's still alive? That's the crazy part. Why does Sylvester Stallone's captain look like he's wearing a fake mustache and fake hair? Like, that's weird. It's just weird. It's a bunch of weird decisions. Why is Jack Burton basically in this movie again? Why is there a shotgun boot? Like, they're just questions. They're just weird questions. It's fun, but you notice the absence of all the logic in the things, and you go like, this is just a bunch of people throwing shit at a wall and seeing what sticks, and then going, yeah, we'll just make a movie out of this. It'll be fun and stupid. People could turn their brains off. But it becomes noticeable when it's so absent. Same with Bad Boys. The villain in Bad Boys is like pure evil personified. He makes no logical decisions other than just to cause massive amounts of he makes no smart business decisions. He's a terrible businessman. You don't know what he actually does other than sell heroin that he steals from cops. You have no idea who any of these people are. His goon squad is it's like a rogues gallery from DC Comics. They're literally like every diversity hire you could, which is kind of funny at the time, but it's like a group of people. They don't like, if they were a gang in the Warriors, they'd be the gang of all the people nobody else wanted in their gang. It's like one Italian guy, one half Italian guy, a Mexican who won't wear a shirt. What, like, it's just the weirdest group of ragtag guys, and you're like, oh yeah, this is just all who they could get off the line or whatever. Like, yeah, there's nothing to these movies. The dialogue is witty in some points. Tango and Cash is almost a superhero, super villain movie the way it's done, because they're like super cops. They're cops that make the news for being such good.
Oh, Kyle dropped
individual cops.
out.
And then Jack Palance, like I said, has an obsession with me. Oh, did I drop out again? Wait, am I
you
here?
did.
Oh,
Yep,
can you hear
You're
me?
alive still.
How much did
It
I
was like a
miss?
second. It was like a second.
Just a little. Just a little.
Okay.
Yeah.
All I was
You were
saying,
talking
I'll be
about
very
super
quick.
cops.
Tango and Cash is like a superhero movie. They're super cops. Jack Palance is a super villain who has henchmen who do weird things like smoke cigarettes and talking about killing them, and he's obsessed with rats and has a giant maze, and he's like Maze Man. It's fucking weird. These are weird movies. The scripts
don't
scripts
know.
and stories
nope,
basically
he's not
have
done.
like nothing to do with what happens in most of these movies. Go ahead, I'm done. I was just gonna say some of the dialogue in Bad Boy, it doesn't hold up, 25 years later. Like that's all I'm saying. And Tango and Cash is even older. So that's like sorry, go ahead.
No, keep going.
Did I drop out again?
Nope, you're fine. Andrew,
can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear
you. Mike, can you hear me? Okay.
Oh my God.
Andrew, I don't want to take anything from your trivia, so I'll try it. So apparently there was a lot of turmoil on the Tango and Cash set.
No.
Especially with the writing of the script and other people writing lines. I will say this. Tango and Cash was essentially a fever dream of John Peters. And any of you that are Kevin Smith fans and know about the Return of Superman script and John Peters, that should be enough to tell you what happened. But I had down what's with all the fucking mazes in my notes. And I won't get into one other thing. I'll save that for directing, but for Bad Boys though, I love the back and forth, like the writing. And once again, Michael Bay is known for letting a lot of his actors go off script and ad lib. And I believe both of these films had a lot of ad libbing or like things thought up on set while they're standing there like, hey, can I just deliver this line? Like, so I don't know who to give the writing credit for, especially for Tango and Cash, because there's a lot behind the scenes there. And with Bad Boys, I mean, that was originally going to be something else. I'm not going to get into the trivia, but I think neither one of these, the characters do not grow. The characters do not change. They don't have an epiphany halfway through the film. These are stories about two cops that are just trying to get a job done, right? Bad Boys, they have to get the drugs. Then one of their friends gets killed. So they're going to get whoever killed him and stole the drugs. I mean, you've already said that. Simple, easy, and then hijinks ensues. Tango and Cash, I believe the original idea that John Peters said with his wonderful coiffed hair and his girlfriend Barbara Streisand next to him was, what if two hero cops get framed? That was his idea and had someone write it. So that's all I'm going to say. I don't want to take anything else because I think it belongs in directing and acting. But yeah, the scripts are very thin. But when you go see an action movie like this, you're not going to change the world. You're just going in there to eat your popcorn and watch explosions and watch witty one-liners.
But I think if you have to stop and ask why all the time, that hurts. I'm just going to interject that a little bit. Sorry, go ahead. I've been interrupting everybody. I've been interrupting everybody else.
And I think
so. Oh, yeah, go ahead. Get in there, Mike. Get in there.
And I think that new action movies are trying to do that more, right? Like stay away from the why, give a little bit of depth, right? But this is the 80s and we're going into the 90s. This is the time of pure action.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll try to go really quick. I don't have a heck of a lot of time left. But I don't know. Yeah. I felt like Bad Boys spent a little bit too much time on Marcus's relationship with his wife. I felt like that was the story. That was the movie. And then there were like action scenes in between. It was all about him having trouble in his relationship with his wife, and that I mean that's what a lot of the gags were about. I just thought they spent way too much time on that. I mean, that should have been a subplot, but it felt like the main plot to me. And then the rest of the movie, in between that stuff, was just like witty banter between these guys, and some of it was pretty funny, and they obviously were comfortable with each other, and that went well, and it was probably highly ad-libbed. But I also felt like it was kind of a repetition of the same kind of sequence over and over, where he's not getting any at home, and then they have some witty banter about it, and then they get yelled at by the boss, and then there's some gunplay, and then there's like a kind of a short music video transition, and they just repeat that. And I just felt like the story was like the same sequence kind of stacked over and over until you had 2 hours of movie. Yeah, and I think Mike was right. There's not a lot of like character arc there. They are pretty much the same from beginning to end. And then Tango and Cash. I don't think it was there was more of this banter. We should say, like you did before, that this one really this is one of the movies that kind of helped establish that kind of approach to these buddy cop movies and have this banter. But I watched them in the opposite. I should have watched them in order of when they were made, but I didn't. I watched Bad Boys first, and then Tango and Cash, and I was like, more of this like kind of cocky, banter between these guys. And some of it's kind of fun, but it's kind of like, okay, I get it. Where's the story here? Please help me out with some sort of plot. I just didn't feel like either of these was really strong from the writing category. Enjoyable, but not really all that, stellar from writing.
Okay.
Good job, everybody.
Is that it? No other.
We did it.
Oh, I could go on for another hour, but yeah, let's end.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, so we should probably vote on this round then. See what you guys feel like, huh?
Sure.
Okay. So let's start off with our lead of the group, Tom.
I'm gonna go. I just feel lost in a maze trying to figure this out. I'm gonna give it to Dead End here. Dead End. I'm gonna give it to Tango Cash, actually.
Okay. Mike.
Bad Boys.
Kyle.
This is hard because I think the dialogue's much better in Bad Boys, but the skeleton, the story of like maniacal madman traps super cops in cage by framing them, that's more interesting. So I'm going to give it to Tango and Cash for that weird idea of a movie.
Okay. And Gabe.
I forgot to mention that Tango and Cash is kind of like two movies together. So there's the whole prison break thing, and then there's the whole action cop thing too. Yeah, this one's a tough one for me too. I'm going to go with Bad Boys because I think the dialogue was a little bit better.
All right. Well, so Tango and Cash. Let's see. Jeffrey Baum, who worked on the script for both for two of the Lethal Weapon films, was one of the writers who did a rewrite of the script during the movie's production. But he either didn't like the draft he wrote or he didn't like the actual film, so he refused to be credited in the film. For Bad Boys, the big problem with the film is that they had little money to pay someone to come in and rewrite it. Michael Bay mentioned in the industry today, someone could make up to $100,000 doing a rewrite on a film. The film only had $10,000 for Bay to rewrite the script with the help of Will Smith and Martin Lawrence each day before filming, and then added improvisation on top of it. Yeah, there you go.
That's just crazy to me that you send a multi-million dollar you start a multi-million dollar film and you don't have a script.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely insane to me.
Yeah.
It's like laying railroad track in front of you while the locomotive's going.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It's so crazy.
100%.
Yep.
I was just
Yeah.
thinking, we've all done film festivals and short time things, and those are very stressful. But imagine
Yes.
you have 400 people
That's what I was
waiting
thinking.
for you.
It's a
and there's
48
$200
hour
million sunk into it.
But there's
And
like
you're like,
cast and crew.
we don't know what the fuck we're doing.
1,000
We don't know
people.
what today's going to be like. We don't know what scenes to shoot.
Yep. That's all I can think
I would
of.
lose my mind.
That's all I can think of too.
Yeah.
All right.
Spawned how many sequels?
4.
Yeah. Turns out if
4
you
sequels.
juggle well enough, you juggle well enough and make a bunch of money, you get to keep doing it.
It's you know what? It's you blame it on Casablanca. It worked that one time, and so others like, maybe we could look.
All right. Round 2. Acting.
All right. Well, let's start off with Tango and Cash. As a kid, I always wanted to see Schwarzenegger in Kurt Russell's part. But after watching it again and watching it now that I'm older, this is Kurt Russell's movie. Like, he sells the movie for me. Stallone plays the straight man, and Kurt Russell is the Riggs, the Martin Riggs of the group, right? If you want to go with Lethal Weapon standards. And I love him in this film. And someone said, why is Jack Burton doing something? It's like, yeah, I mean, he's just great. I think he has a lot of charisma. And Stallone really, I mean, I like a lot of his films, but the guy does have a hard time acting. He does play Rocky very well. I'll say that, but his range is not that grand of a range. We're not talking like a Gary Oldman here. But I do like him in this film. I do like the banter, as we've already discussed. Apparently Terry Hatcher was an add-on after they decided that someone else wasn't working out. And all I have to say about poor Terry Hatcher being put in this part, she does not have she doesn't have an arc at all. She's just there for eye candy. So I can say they're real and they're spectacular. I wanted to go through some of the character actors that we see in Tango and Cash. It's freaking filled with great character actors.
Yeah.
Tom, I wanted to ask you outright. The officer that walks in and asks Tango what a margin call is when he's talking with Terry Hatcher. Did you notice who that was?
I did not.
That was Glenn Morshower. Remember, he was on 24. He was one of the Secret Service agents. Yeah, and he's also worked with Michael Bay in a lot of the Transformers films. Of course, Kyle mentioned James Hong, the man with like 900 films on his IMDb list. And he was in Big Trouble in Little China with Kurt Russell. Brian James, this is for Gabe, Blade Runner. And he was also in The Fifth Element. Edward
plays British for some reason in this movie.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Kind of.
Edward
He's supposed to be.
I think Andrew's
Bunker.
got. I mean, I swear to God, I thought the first thing was he's Australian, and then I was like, wait,
Yeah.
is he British? I don't understand what he's doing.
A really bad Cockney accent.
That was
Edward
bad.
I thought the same thing.
Edward Bunker, who looked to Kyle like he had a fake mustache and fake hair, he is actually Mr. Blue in Reservoir Dogs. Michael Jeter, of course, Open Range, Green Mile. Clint Howard. I have giant letters here. Clint Howard. And they called him Slinky, which I'm going to start calling people Slinky. Billy Blanks was actually in an uncredited role.
I saw that too.
I spotted him.
That's crazy. And let's see, Jeffrey Lewis worked a lot with Eastwood. He is Tango's chief.
Mm-hmm.
He was in Every Which Way But Loose and all that. Films that I grew up watching. And Tango's lawyer is Elaine's boss from Seinfeld. That's Mr. Lipman. So
Louis
see.
Arquette. You didn't mention Louis Arquette.
Oh,
the father
yes,
of David
I'm sorry.
Arquette, Rosanna Arquette,
Yep.
Patricia Arquette. It's a who of character actors in the 80s. It's ridiculous.
And I wrote down that Jeffrey Lewis, I loved his acting after he got tackled when he was outside the screen. Like when he sat down and he's trying to light a cigarette. Like I loved that little cutaway. All right, Bad Boys. Sorry for the paper rustling. Bad Boys, Will Smith, Martin Lawrence, they have hit TV shows. I loved watching Martin. Like I watched Martin religiously when it was on Fox. And this kind of made Will Smith who he is today. Like I know he had a huge TV show, and saying that you have a huge TV show nowadays doesn't really match what it was back in the 80s and the 90s. But this was his move into film, into movies. And, without Bad Boys, we don't see him saying welcome to Earth in Independence Day. And we also don't get him slapping Chris Rock on the Oscar stage. Anyway, Joe Pants, I love Joe Pantaleone, and he is one of my favorite character actors, and I love him as the chief. He is just great. Tia Leone, ever since I saw the movie, I had a crush on her. That doesn't really mean anything for acting, but I like the fact that I should have put this in the writing category, but I like the fact that she tries to do stuff. She is not just there. She actually goes somewhere and tries to take out the bad guy that apparently hangs out in bars and really weird dance dance clubs. Yep, Club Hell.
Club Hell.
I love the fact that when they walk into the apartment, Marcus comments about the smoke, about the haze that's in the room. And I'm guessing that was an ad lib, but I just love the fact that he's like, oh, I must have left some incense burning, which was just great because I like the look of that film when they do that. Let's see. The gymnasium scene, which was all ad lib by him too, when he's like trying to work out and everything while Mike is in talking with his lady friend.
The line, I was getting them all in before you showed up.
Yeah,
made me laugh out loud.
And also, like, apparently he was a Golden Gloves boxer. Martin Lawrence was.
Joey Pants?
So him messing around on that speed. Yeah, Martin Lawrence messing around on the speed bag in the gym was just him kind of saying, well, I don't want to get slow anymore. And in real life, he was a Golden Gloves boxer. But Joe Pants, holy crap, he makes the movie for me. I love that guy. And Marg Helgenberger's in it, which she's not in it a lot, and she's just kind of a pain in the butt. But then she goes on. Kyle, was she on CSI Vegas, or was she CSI Miami?
She was the original CSI Vegas.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes, right. She was one of the more like straight-laced, less Gus Grissom. She was like the foil to Gus Grissom, like a little bit.
And
she's got a David Bowie haircut in this movie, where she's like in between a pixie cut and like shoulder length hair. It's funny.
She does. And I like the two carjackers in the beginning of the film. Like,
oh, Jesus.
I just love
Kim
the
Coates.
one guy's like, and I'm a stand-up comedian, and I suck.
And I suck.
I just love
That's
how he
Kim
delivers
Coates
that line.
From Sons of Anarchy. He's awesome.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm
great.
sorry. I took up 10 minutes. You guys go ahead.
Oh, it's so
Jesus
funny.
Christ, dude.
By the way, that gym scene that you love so much, Mike, that was completely
Yes.
improvised. because Will Smith
That's
was
so
supposed
funny.
to be just doing a bar and just lifting for that entire scene, but Michael Bay and uh, got into the scene and he started playing on the speed bag and it just turned into something completely different on the day.
And that's what I like about it.
Yeah. All right, I will try to go fast this time so people get more choices. I don't understand Jack Palance's acting style. I don't think I ever will.
Oh
William
my God,
Hung,
I forgot to talk about him, but please talk
that's
about
okay.
Jack Palance.
He's just bizarre. Like, I read his IMDb says Jack Palance often portrays absolute evil in movies. I was like, really? He's like a mean senior citizen to me. It's like absolute evil. He wants to put two super cops in a cage, and he's willing to spend $1 billion to do it, and he fails. That's not absolute evil. But I don't know. It's kind of funny because if you look at these Tango and Cash in particular, there are a lot of like kind of sickly, old-looking character actors. Jack Palance looks like he has a cold sweat, clammy skin. He lived like another 26 years. Like, what the fuck? How? And then like the guy, the limey with red hair, he died way before like Jack Palance did. Like that's crazy. It's like roulette in the 80s. You had no idea who was gonna live. James Hong's still alive. He's 96. And his only character trait in that movie was taking a drag of a cigarette. That he did it. He must have done it 20 times. And it's like the only business they gave him to do. They're like, hey, when you're talking or listening, take a drag of a cigarette. That's all he does. It's hilarious. But yeah, Tango and Cash is a who's that of 80s character actors. It's ridiculous. So many people got their SAG insurance paid off that movie. Sylvester Stallone, I think, is the B-side of Nick Cage, where I think he has the capacity to be a really good actor, but when he's bad, it's not over the top crazy. It's just flat and weird and bad. He doesn't have that other side that Nick Cage has where he's like, I'm gonna turn it up to 13. His decisions in some of his movies to play like a wry straight man in a comedy, that's really weird. Because he ends up kind of doing it in Demolition Man as an action star. John Spartan is more like Cash to some. He's like a combination of the two characters, but he is kind of dry and matter of fact, and he doesn't understand all this newfangled world. He's more grounded and straight. He's not like comedic. But yeah, Kurt Russell is hilarious, and I think we talked about Jack Burton as well. It's a very Jack Burton like role. He also, I think, wears lipstick or drag in both movies. And I know this is probably a thing for overall, but I just want to give credit. Tango and Cash is less homophobic than Bad Boys, which is a movie like made 10 years later. I thought it was so crazy. Yeah, I said talk about acting. Terry Hatcher they're like, you're beautiful, you're a dancer, you have very little to do, be gorgeous. She nailed it. Jack Palance, whatever he was trying to do, they thought he nailed it. And then in Bad Boys, I think you see Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, well-respected comedic actors at their time. Martin Lawrence had a huge stand-up career. They must have thought, we're just going to let these guys play. Joe Pantaleone may be one of the best angry improvisers. I don't know if he does cameo, but I would book him to yell at my funeral. Like if he could dress me down for all my mistakes in my life at my funeral, that would be amazing to me. Talk about what a piece of shit I was and lazy and how I was fucking up everything. I think he's the best at that. He's really good at masking things, which is police tropes. Sometimes when people do police tropes, it's very obvious. It was very obvious in Tango and Cash. Sometimes he'd say, I can get you 24 hours with no press. Why? How? Okay. That's one of those things where we ask why. If you can give me 24 hours without press, how come you couldn't keep me out of jail? Where do your powers start and stop? But Joey Pants is like exasperated and calling in every favor he has. And I think he does that part so much better. One of my favorite acting lines of his is at the end when he knows he's screwed and he's like rubbing his forehead and he's calling. He was like, I'm calling in every favor. I need air support. I need vans. I need guns. I just don't know where I need them. And I thought that was a great performance because he's like desperate to try to help them. But he's like, look, I don't know what I'm doing. I just need you to work with me here. I thought that was like the tone was perfect. One of the things I hate in movies is the wife of a longtime cop who constantly busts a guy's balls for being a cop. That is such an over trope, and I hate it. It causes artificial tension. I dislike it. And it's a real bummer in these movies. But I do think the family stuff adds a little bit. And I kind of forgot about the whole role switching thing for a while, and I didn't realize how flimsy it was, and how Téa Leoni had basically figured it out, but she doesn't put a finger on it till the end. But I thought she was pretty good. I think she makes some dumb mistakes. She makes mistakes almost like someone does in a horror movie, where they're like, I'm so scared, I'm going to get a gun and end this. Like, that's a weird flex to make there. But yeah, I thought all the acting in Bad Boys was okay. The villain was probably the worst part. He was terrible. John Spider Sally, shout out to that guy for getting up in Martin Lawrence's face. Martin Lawrence probably 5'7", John Sally 6'11", 4-time NBA champion, wearing those big ass goggles, and Martin Lawrence like, I'm gonna knock you the fuck out. That was great. Funny. Bad Boys is pretty funny. Also kind of problematic and homophobic. I love Chet the doorman. Probably my favorite character in the movie.
Oh my God, I forgot about Chet.
He's great. He's great. What's he say? Mr. Lowry. Mr. Lowry. It's the Lowry twins. Like, just little shit like that. It's so funny. He adds so much.
I just love it when Marcus walks in and like, how's your wife?
How's your wife? It's not like that. That's so funny. Yeah, I'm gonna stop.
Okay.
That's good.
You want to go, Tom, or you want me to go?
Go ahead.
Oh,
go ahead,
shit.
Go ahead,
Oh,
Gabe.
we
Go
fucked up everything. I'm sorry.
Well,
neither
just throw a
of
couple
us have
things in
said
there.
anything. Just go ahead.
I forgot. I'm
yeah.
so sorry.
I think Martin Lawrence and Will Smith have good chemistry, and that works. It makes it entertaining to watch. However, I have a hard time watching Will Smith in anything. It's weird. We talk about like how time changes your opinions of certain people, and his was greatly changed. For me, I don't really enjoy seeing him on screen anymore. And personally, I don't personally find Martin Lawrence very funny. I feel like he just kind of has one kind of trick. He just kind of acts kind of bumbling, and I personally just don't find him all that funny. But I thought they had good chemistry in the movie, and they are probably what made it work. And I could talk about all those extra characters. Joe Pantoliano, Joe Pants, as Mike calls him. I love him. I thought his character was a little cliche in this. The angry yelling police chief, that kind of thing. And I think he's got a lot more range. I really like him a lot. Kurt Russell, we talked about. Loved Kurt Russell. But I was a little surprised, and I think you kind of hinted at it by saying that Stallone was a straight man and Kurt was I would have cast them the opposite in a way. But, I loved Kurt Russell in that. He's really good. I'm trying to keep it short. So, Tom, do you have anything else you want to add?
No, you guys kind of mentioned all that. Oh, Michael Imperioli, who plays Jojo the mechanic, he went on to be in Sopranos, which makes me realize how old, how long ago Bad Boys was. I'm going to tell you right now, with the exception of Rocky, and it's a pretty questionable exception. I don't think Sylvester Stallone's a great actor. He's not very good.
No.
And I was really excited because obviously I've never seen Tango Cash before we did this. And so I'm watching it, and his very first line when he's chasing down the truck and he's like, drop dead. I've been on this for 3 months. All right, I'm going in. Like, why'd you say all right? Like, what? Like, it didn't make any sense. Like, he's just like reading it off the page, and Stallone's horrible. And judging from your silence that you agree with me.
What was it that he said just before he shot?
That felt like the first day of shooting. That scene felt like the actual first day of shooting. God, it was really bad. I agree with you 100%.
I've never sat down to watch a movie, and the first line someone utters, I go, "Oh, fuck! I got to do this for 2 hours." And it crushed my spirit at that point, and I was not looking forward to finishing it. But it got better as it went on. once Kurt Russell showed up. So, and then
We
my
forgot to
son pointed out-
mention Robert Zadar of Samurai Cop fame.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
I have to finish. Shut the fuck up. And
You-
so
you
I
gotta
just
put that guy up.
my son pointed out that both of them were in Guardians 2. So I just
Yep.
okay, just vote already.
You should
Doesn't
look that
fucking
guy
matter.
up. He had an interesting life. He was an interesting,
Robert
interesting
Zadar,
dude.
yeah.
He was
Yes.
Yeah. I was kind of curious about him, so I started looking him up, and he was a pretty interesting guy. He had a band that opened up for some big bands, and I don't remember who they said they opened up for, but
He has
yeah,
a
it's like,
jawline
wow,
that
it's
goes
crazy.
for days.
Well, yeah, it's a medical
Yeah,
condition that
genetic.
gave him like that
Yeah,
bone
genetic.
structure. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then at some point
Yeah.
he's like, he broke my leg, my arm, my jaw, and Kurt Russell's like, you broke that jaw?
That jaw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is pretty.
Oh,
wild.
I should also mention Johnson Augers.
Oh yeah. We drill for the thrill. No spill, guaranteed.
Okay, so this just
All right.
happened to be a month where I crossed paths with a lot of people and suggested our podcast to them. I want to apologize. This was a bad month to jump into this. You don't know what the hell we're talking about. Augers thing is like a 4-month-old joke that they bring up. You have to go watch the Twister episode. And there's just a whole lot of weird shit going on.
All right.
My mic was not out for the second round. I just couldn't get a word in. So come back next
I
month
think-
when we do a couple of nice little documentaries. And
I'm sorry.
we're
I'm just excited to be here today.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think this is a great month to have new people because Johnson Augers were releasing the new Earthfucker 9000, and that's our strongest drill we've ever made. It says we'll make the core our core
they're all leaving. They're
right
all
on the
just
side.
like-
So
All right. Mike, vote. Just vote.
just end it.
I'm voting for Tango and Cash just because of all the character actors in the film.
All right. Kyle.
on the strength of Brian Johnson or Brian James's Cockney accent, Tango and Cash takes it for me.
Okay. Gabe.
I'm gonna go with Bad Boys because of Will Smith and Martin Lawrence's chemistry.
Okay. And Tom.
And I'm going to go with Bad Boys because John Sally is the only player to win 3 championships with 3 different teams.
Fair enough.
Damn straight.
I got that in.
You did. All right. So, Kyle and Mike, I think you were the ones that brought this up. So here you go. When Brian James was originally hired to play Requiem, it was a very small role with only 2 lines. And in an effort to give the character something that would make him actually stand out, he decided to speak in a horrible Cockney accent. Sylvester Stallone thought it was amazing, and he rewrote the script to give Requiem a much bigger role. So there you go. And you know, we always talk about the alternate universes. This is the one that I thought was the most interesting in the world. Patrick Swayze was originally cast to play Cash in Tango and Cash, but he dropped out to star in Roadhouse. But after Roadhouse was done and was completed, he dropped out again because he wanted to go film Ghost because he had hurt his knee during the filming of Roadhouse. So they opened up casting, and these are the people that they had actually audition: Michael Benn, Pierce Brosnan, Kevin Costner, Harrison Ford, Richard Gere, Mel Gibson, Don Johnson, Michael Keaton, Ray Liotta, Liam Neeson, Michael Nuri, Gary Oldman, Robert Patrick, Bill Paxton, Ron Perlman, Dennis Quaid, Gary Sinise, Tom Cruise, Bruce Willis, and James Woods to be able to play Cash.
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
Nope.
What the fuck?
You're gonna
Should put them all in one movie.
There's like a theme here of the twistedness of these 2 movies and how well or didn't well they started off with. So, Bad Boys, the
Not,
original.
not gonna lie, I would go see a movie called Cruising Woods.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I'd buy your popcorn for you.
Yeah.
I actually think Ray Liotta might have been the best choice out of all of those.
Yeah.
I think Ray Liotta would have been a pretty good Kurt Russell analog.
For Bad Boys, originally the two leads were going to be Eddie Murphy and Wesley Snipes.
Oh.
Yeah, don't forget the original cast.
Oh.
Yeah, the script was written for two other actors.
Yeah. Come on, we have to say it. If we
Yeah,
say it,
say
it stays, the rumor stays alive.
John Lovitz and Dana Carvey.
There you go.
Yeah.
And it was actually
Yeah.
and it wasn't called Bad Boys. It was, I can't remember. Oh shit. I can't remember the name of the script.
No. Let's pretend it was going to be called Bad Boys.
Oh, okay.
The story is that David Milch lost a bunch of money on a trip taking people down to watch his racehorses perform, and his racehorses lost a bunch of money. And to get everybody back home, he wrote the script for Bad Boys with the idea of John Lovitz and Dana Carvey and sold it that way.
There you go. Tay Leona.
He would later go on to write Deadwood, one of the best TV shows ever written, which is hilarious.
Tay Leona was accidentally knocked out by Martin Lawrence's stunt double. She recalled, quote, "I ended up in the hospital at one point. It was the AK-47 under the jaw that got me. I wasn't on proper mark when the stunt guy hit me with it. My legs went over my head and I landed flat on my back. I didn't have much memory at that point. The director, Michael Bay, freaked out. I started to cry because I'd never thought that the chill of Hollywood would be so close in my face," unquote. All right.
Awesome.
Yeah, that would suck. Imagine getting knocked out by an AK-47.
Yeah.
I wish I was a little better at Photoshop, because I would totally put Carvey and Lovitz on the poster for this week. And James Woods and Tom Cruise. But I just do not have the energy for this one.
All right. Round 3. Kyle directing.
We're going to go super fast. Everybody else is going to get a huge chunk of time here. All right. Michael Bay would have more money for rewriting if he didn't shoot 150,000 shots per movie. Also, whatever he's paying the slave labor for editing to make a cut every 2.5 seconds, could probably do away with that. He does awesome explosions. Really good at chase scenes. We had to get the circular around them slow motion shot. That's always cool. I think he did a really good job with the action stuff. Some of the set pieces are a little crowded. The club hell is kind of a nightmare to keep track of where everything's going. The urinal fight, I forgot how gross that was, but it's pretty brutal, and he just does spectacle very well. The hangar explosion was great. The car race at the end was great, although I think it's very stupid. Let him go through, come around. You've got to have helicopters. There's better ways to do this. Also, that guy is absolutely jelly when he hits that wall. He's going 90 in a car with no seat. I mean, his body may be intact, but all of his bones and organs are gone. Then he gets out and they shoot him and kill him anyway. So, Michael Bay's style is kind of a love-hate. If you can get into it, it's all right. It's so choppy. It's so hard to follow sometimes what's going on. There are cuts for cuts' sake. But he does have some very cool action shots, and he shoots some things in very inventive and kinetic and entertaining ways. The other director, who I don't even remember for Tango and Cash, seemed to have zero control of what was happening in the movie for most of the time and just let the actors and big personalities carry everything through. Sometimes that works. I think mostly with Kurt Russell, that works okay. Sylvester Stallone goes from being terrible to kind of being serviceable, putting the parts together where he's talking about his sister and some all this. I kind of buy his more grounded thing. But him being big, calling Rambo a pussy, using a tiny gun, wearing whatever that suit was, talking about having a bunch of money but getting margin called right at the beginning of the movie. I've been in finance for 15 years and I know that's not good. That means you don't have any money, and now you have to owe people because you borrowed too much. So they never touched on that again about how he's probably fucking broke and wearing rented suits and shit. They never touch on that again. But the prison stuff was kind of fun, but very silly. It made no logical sense at all. But it was cool action scenes. The ending was a fiasco. It's like a James Bond ending, like on steroids. Where it's like Maze Man puts heroes in maze, they defeat maze, guy dies, and basically Enter the Dragon style in a giant mirrored room. So huge swings in quality here for me on both of these films, and I'm going to stop talking now.
Yeah, I'll back you up. I think God bless Michael Bay's editor. I don't know if he burns through them or if he keeps using the same guy, but it's impressive with what he's able to do. And I guess, oh God, sorry, I just threw up my mouth a little. It's a credit to Michael Bay. I can get through this. It's a credit to Michael Bay that he is providing the footage to put together scenes that make sense. So there, I did it. There you go. And yeah, so you have to get it in the can if you're going to use it in the movie. And the fact that he's able to get that much coverage is pretty impressive with the action scenes that he's doing. I don't understand why Julie drives into the ether at the end. I assume it's just to make a cool explosion. Like what was, I don't know, like get in the car and drive away, but she like drives the car into the ether and makes a bigger disaster mess. And that doesn't make any sense to me at all whatsoever. Kudos to the production. I bet the production designers like just creamed themselves when they were like, and they go to a club called Club Hell, and they were just like, oh, get costume in here. This is going to be so much fun. And what else was I going to say? Oh, the beginning of Tango and Cash. So they're sitting there, and they got the truck. The truck's full of cocaine. Is that what it was in there? Yeah. And then,
like I believe there's a part of it that is full of cocaine.
Okay, so there's a tanker truck full of cocaine is what it looks like in the middle. Can we agree? Can we agree it was in the middle of nowhere? And there's all these cops around, and suddenly a limousine drives by. What the this limousine is on a 2-lane road in the middle of fucking nowhere, and there's a truck full of cocaine. There might be a connection there, Detective Tango. One thing that I love from 80s movies, I know some of you guys don't like the Wilhelm scream, and this is the Wilhelm scream of my generation, and it's grocery carts full of aluminum cans.
Yes.
It's loud and it's big, and I bet it's really cheap. And it's colorful, so I think smashing into grocery carts full of that is pretty awesome. And then the last thing I'll say,
I don't know why, but I had a strong suspicion that lady was gonna be Sylvester Stallone in drag, and he was gonna like put a gun and stop and help Tango. I don't know why, because it was so out of place. I was like, this has to be like a setup for something. Nope, it wasn't. Just a raggedy old woman with a can shopping for cart full of cans.
I grew up in the 80s, and old ladies with shopping carts full of aluminum cans were everywhere. I mean, it's just something that happened. We still have a lot of that in Iowa because we still get 5 cents a can. And the last thing I'll say, the high five at the end of Tango Cash was fucking shit. Like it looked like two people who had never high fived before.
Yeah.
Like I have no idea. Like, okay, guys, this is the exclamation point on the entire movie. High five. That sucked. That's a rep.
On a spectrum,
and why did they
that's
hold
on
hands?
one end? Sorry, I was just going to say on a spectrum, that high five is on one end, and then the Carl Weathers, Arnold Schwarzenegger handshake is on the other end.
Son of a
That's
bitch.
the spectrum of hand-to-hand contact in movies.
Yeah. So I guess I'll say a few words, and then we need to let Mike weigh in here. This is important. This is an important round for Mike. So I thought Bad Boys was beautifully shot. It's a really beautiful looking movie. some great cinematography in it. And I wanted to add, hopefully this isn't Andrew's trivia, but I wanted to add that the cinematographer, Howard Atherton, actually was a cameraman on Monty Python and the Holy Grail. So it sounds
Oh, that's
different ends of the
awesome.
spectrum there. I
That's
thought, oh,
awesome.
that's really interesting. Yeah, he also did some work on Alien, and yeah. So, but I give a lot of credit to the cinematographer because he would have to put up with Michael Bay and all those shots that he'd have to get and all those setups and that kind of thing, and it was all very, very beautiful. I agree with the whole editing thing. I feel like it's so the camera movement and the editing is so fast. It's kind of dizzying. It's like, whoa, okay, whoa, slow down for a minute, please. And it's all part of Michael Bay's style, but it's a little too much for me sometimes. Um, yeah, I can't say that there was a lot of positive things in my mind to say about the directing of Tango and Cash. I just had a lot of questions about, yeah, some of the choices. At times the cinematography was okay. Other times it was just terrible. They had, it looked like grainy film and low light situations and that kind of thing. It just didn't. It wasn't consistently good, and I don't think there were a lot of good choices as far as like editing, and putting together the story structure. I wouldn't give high scores for the directing of Tango and Cash. So I don't know. I think Mike needs his turn.
Thanks, Gabe. I don't want to take trivia away from Andrew, but do you have anything on the director of Tango and Cash, Andrew? A little bit. Okay, I won't touch it then. Yeah. So this is Michael Bay's first like feature film from after directing music videos, and you talk about his kinetic feel and his quick cuts. I mean, that's just coming from from all the music videos. I'm glad Tom or someone, I think it was Kyle, brought up the hero shot. That's the Michael Bay shot where the camera's low, you have your heroes in the foreground, the camera's moving around them, and you have something tall behind them just to show the movement. And it's fantastic.
Well, it does stand out because it is the longest shot in the movie by 3 seconds.
It is. Um,
Got him.
I really liked what the second unit. I don't know if it was the second unit, but the shots of the city just to establish, hey, this is Miami. Um, that's Michael Bay's car that Will Smith is driving in. By the way, that's his Porsche. I wrote down great insert shots. One thing I always like about Bay's movies is he shows when they were breaking in and the camera dollies into the lock. Other people would just say, oh, just get it on the wide, you can show them doing the lock. That's like, nope, let's show that they're moving towards the lock. Yeah, I don't have too much else to say except this started my love affair with Michael Bay's directing and maybe just Michael Bay in general. Tango and Cash, boy, I wrote down that this is the best video game adaptation movie without having a video game. Uh, you have a big baddie that is in an airplane hangar, a converted airplane hangar with heavy equipment, monster trucks, uh, uh, trucks with rocket sleds on them. It's absolutely insane. It's like going through the old 80s video games, like and trying to rescue the girl in the video game. Um, but directing, there wasn't a lot of the direction that stood out for me in Tango and Cash, except I loved the cinematography of the jailbreak. I like the use of the big lights,
Mhm.
backlighting the rain, and I just thought those shots were really well done, and I really enjoyed that part of the film. So I mean, and the mirror shots. I put down the mirror shots were pretty great. But other than that, like yeah, I know a lot of the trivia about it because I'm just a trivia nerd when it comes to films, so I don't want to take anything from Andrew. But Michael Bay definitely has a kinetic directing style, and it shows, and that's why his action scenes are always on a higher level. You know, the camera is always moving, no matter what. And you throw in some slow motion, and you throw in cameras possibly getting smashed by vehicles because they're too close, and it's fantastic. Yeah, I just wish Tango and Cash would have had someone actually steering the ship for and could control the egos, because I think the film, I love the movie, but I think the film probably could have been helped more by the director, if there was someone that was actually in charge. Oh,
You said that about the
and you guys brought up
video game.
You brought up dance clubs. Sorry, you guys brought up dance clubs, and these are two like bars, dance clubs, whatever, that I would love to go to. Both of these, you have a woman dancing on stage with a giant fan, and for some reason she goes over to electric drums and starts beating on them. Like, what is that? And like Club Hell just looked awesome. Like, I think it was Tom said, someone just, or I can't remember who it was, just said they just creamed in their pants when they said it's called Club Hell. It was well done. I loved the look of Club Hell. It definitely fit the name.
Club Hell is the place that would end up in the newspaper as like a rash of date rape has happened at this downtown Miami club. Like, it's so sleazy. But when you said video games, what it made me think of was Jack Palance is kind of a video game villain. Like, I don't know if you ever played Streets of Rage. There's a character, character named Mr. X, and he has like weird gang members who go out to harass your heroes, and they all dress differently, and they're from different countries and all that stuff. It's kind of a Streets of Rage movie. They have to like fight their way through the goons to get to the bad guy. It's interesting you say that. That's clever. I never thought of it that way.
I think it's an unreleased.
Was there a
Dragon.
Tango and Cash game?
It's an unreleased double dragon. Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's what it feels like.
It's definitely better than the released Double Dragon movie that they made.
They didn't make a video
with
game.
The Iron Chef and that guy from Party of Five. Is there a Tango and Cash video game? And I asked that because
there probably
in the late 80s, Nintendo made video games of almost everything you could license. It's crazy, some of the properties that actually have video games on Nintendo.
Yeah.
So I would be surprised if there's like a Tango and Cash video game somewhere.
I wouldn't be either.
All right, I'll look it up.
All right. Any last words?
I feel certain there was a Bad Boys on PlayStation. Wasn't there something like that? I don't know.
They're PlayStation 2. I have it.
Yeah.
All right. Let's put her to the votes, kids. Kyle.
I never thought I'd say this in my life, but I'm going to give this one to Michael Bay.
Wow. Are you sure? You made it sound like you weren't sure.
It feels dirty. It feels dirty to say that.
Okay. All right. Gabe.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as Kyle, but I have to say this was more competently directed. Bad Boys was more competently directed than Tango and Cash, so I'm gonna have to go with Bad Boys.
All right, Tom.
Let's see, for directing, I think I'm gonna give it to Michael. Oh God, there it is again. Just a second.
You're looking a little green, Tommy. Okay.
Yeah. Michael Bay. Oh God, I'll be right back.
It's Tom in the wastebasket right by the camera.
Oh God.
Oh,
Oh Jesus.
I'm
did you
fine.
eat deviled eggs tonight?
Mike,
You
I'm
didn't puke on
pretty
Danny
sure-
Barrow's shoes, did you?
Just keep going.
Mike,
No, I'm all right, governor. My crocodile shoes are fine.
Uh,
Oh God,
I'm
Michael
pretty
Bay.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
how do you do that? How do you do that without?
Kyle, to answer your question,
Yeah.
there's not a dedicated Tango and Cash video game, but the arcade game Lucky and Wild is heavily inspired by the movie.
Oh, yeah.
And could be considered a spiritual successor.
I love me some Lucky and Wild, man. That's a fun game.
All right. For Tango and Cash, and I'm probably going to butcher this name, so I do apologize, but director Andrea Konchalovsky was replaced towards the end of principal photography by Albert Magnolia. In his book of memoirs, Andrea says that the reason he was fired was because he wanted to give the film a more serious tone than the producers actually wanted. And as such, his relationship with producer John Peters became very unstable. So Konchalovsky, however, has nothing but praise for Sylvester Stallone, who he states was a constant voice of reason on the set and held the production together. So there we go. Bad Boys.
Hey, Andre, come over here.
Bad Boys, as we mentioned, directorial debut of Michael Bay, but he hated the script. In fact, called it a piece of shit. And that is a quote. He would often engage Will Smith and Martin Lawrence in discussions about how the dialogue and the scenes could be improved. He often allowed them to improvise while the cameras were rolling. He secretly told Will to call Lawrence a bitch before the car scene. The whole two bitches in the sea was also improvised, as was Martin's comment when Tay Leona called him gay. Budget limits often meant Bay would only get a single day to shoot action sequences that would normally have taken 4 days of work on a more lavishly funded projects. So Michael Bay sacrificed $25,000 of his own salary so a key sequence during the film's climax wasn't eliminated. There you go.
Yeah.
It paid
Yeah.
dividends in the end.
Yep, sure did. That is 100% true. All right. Yeah. Let's hit this out. Overall is where we go. Gabe, take us in.
Well, I'm not sure there's much else that can be said about these movies. We've had a lot to say about them, but I do have a few questions. Well, okay. This is when I do overall. This is commonly what I talk about. I talk about music. So let's start there with the music.
Yes. Yes.
The Harold Faltermeyer soundtrack for Tango and Cash
Yes.
really stood out to me. I knew immediately when I first heard it. I knew immediately who it was.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I didn't know if I liked it in that context. I liked it in, Fletch and in 48 Hours and that kind of thing. Did you guys think it worked for Tango and Cash?
It was really similar to some Fletch stuff and Beverly Hills Cop.
Oh, and
Yes, very.
Beverly Hills Cop. I instantly thought of Beverly Hills Cop. And I hated
it was like
was it 48? No, well, I said 48 Hours. It was
for-
Beverly Hills Cop. You're right. I'm sorry.
It was Beverly Hills Cop. I hated the music that they used for when Kurt Russell shows up.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
Very weird.
Remember
I think
it specifically,
Harold Faltermeyer to do this score tier movie is like big Slipknot. It's going to work for some things, but when it doesn't work, it's going to be super obvious, and it's always going to sound exactly like the person you hired. Like, he doesn't have other things really he can shift into. He just sounds like Harold Faltermeyer. Like,
Yes.
when you watch Cop Out, I think is the worst example of him because his score actually ends up sounding like an unfinished temp score. And you're like, did they forget to put music in this movie and just put a bunch of weird beeps and boops? No, they paid Harold Faltermeyer to score this film. It's weird. Yeah, but the music is strange in Tango and Cash. It doesn't fit it all the time. In Bad Boys, it is so of an era. It is such a like nostalgic, because I probably watched this movie 20 times. But like when you hear Juke Joint Jezebel and Club Hell, and you hear, I forgot that they sing Bad Boys so poorly. Like they almost make a joke of it. I remember them being like into it, but no, it's like a joke to them.
Yep.
When they do it.
It is like
and then the opening theme song is like, oh my God, we're in the late 90s. Holy shit, here we go.
Yeah.
Oh man, I absolutely love the opening theme, like the Bad Boys theme is what it's called. And then I love the essentially opening credits, right? Showing the city skyline. I love that score part. Like it is fantastic.
I felt like the music
Bad Boys
was like a soundtrack.
Whoa, what the fuck just happened?
I was just gonna say, I think that what? What's happening? What am I missing?
Yeah, you guys are all starting to talk exactly the same.
All right, everybody, one at a time.
Like,
Let's
perfect. Holy shit!
Give me 1 sec. Give me 1 sec to get this out. I think Bad Boys may set a record for the least amount of a single song played in a movie. They played Tupac's "Me Against the World," I think, for 2.5 seconds. When he walks into the house, like you hear Tupac's "Me Against the World," and I mean it's literally 4 words and like 3 bars, and then they fade it out. It's like, what? Why did you do that? It's a very strange decision.
Yeah, it was like the editing of the movie. It was all very fast.
It's like Michael Bay's like, it's been going on too long. Cut the song. It's too expensive.
Yeah, that's all we can afford.
Is this song 20 minutes? Cut it.
Yeah, and I thought that it was like they were trying to build a soundtrack.
Yeah, definitely trying to build a soundtrack.
Yeah, oh for sure.
Is this in the? How many times have you been like, is this in the movie? Like, yeah, it's in there technically. Yeah,
briefly.
Okay, I have a couple other questions. Unless you guys have some other stuff you want to talk about the music. Why is there so much glass in bad guys' places? Like everything in Tango and Cash in the bad guys' lair was glass. Like everything was glass.
Yeah.
And it's like,
it's
I mean, here we are. We're just
to denote fancy. Yeah. There's a story that goes around about someone in the Apprentice cast visiting Trump's apartment, and everything is gold. He has a gold toilet. It's like gold everything. Okay. And glass in the 80s was like, this is what rich people do. Rich people just put glass everywhere.
Right.
And also, if you know you're in an action,
I figured it was
glass
just for the
always
fight
comes in handy. Yeah, because it looks great when it breaks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I think the glasswork in Tango and Cash is bad because he spider webs the safety glass a couple times with his gun, and then when they fly out, the glass is pristine. Also, it always breaks into like weirdly defined lines. It's like bad glasswork.
Yeah. Yep.
And the ether truck.
Don't forget.
Doesn't ether make people go unconscious? What?
Yes.
I had that in my notes.
Not when it's on fire.
An ether truck outside a nightclub.
Yeah. Why would you park a giant truck full of... Also, wouldn't that guy be unconscious? If you can smell ether, they used to use ether to put people to sleep. How can you get in a car and everybody's like, I smell ether? It should be cut to them all asleep inside the car.
Before surgery.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the whole rest of the thing is a Jacob's Ladder situation. Well, they're all asleep and they run off the bridge, and it's just their dying thoughts. It's like Jacob's Ladder.
Yeah.
Always got to get my Jacob's Ladder reference.
Okay.
ahead.
One other question. What's with all the trucks in Tango and Cash? They have like this, Tango and Cash get this crazy SUV thing with it. But then you think that's crazy enough.
Hell.
You think that's
Do you
crazy
really
enough.
want to know,
But then
Gabe?
they go
Because I
into
know
the
the
bad guy's
answer.
lair. Well, yeah, you can tell me. But then they go into the bad guy's lair, and he has a whole bunch of trucks with machine guns mounted on them. He's got a monster truck. He's got all that
Mhm.
construction stuff. They did mention that there had been a lot of construction there, but it's like, where are people getting all these trucks with machine guns mounted on them? So tell me, Mike.
as
You probably know.
Andrew pointed out that Andre was fired and that he didn't get along with the producers, that's because John Peters, once again with his beautifully coiffed hair, decided one day while he was driving down the road and saw heavy equipment working alongside the road that he wanted that in the movie. So they did not know how the movie was going to end leading up to all that the rally of death. They had no idea what they were going to do. They just knew they had to have like heavy equipment in there, and they brought in monster trucks, and they brought in trucks with that have rocket sleds on them. It is an absolute fever dream. That's why I'm saying it's a great video game movie.
Yeah. I just thought that was nuts. That you think that Tango and Cash are going to have the best vehicle, and then all of a sudden they go in there and everybody's got one. It's
Right.
nothing special.
Oh
Yeah,
my God,
I
I
thought that was
want
kinda
that truck. I want their truck so bad.
It looks ridiculous. Like, it looks
But they
ridiculous.
never really fire that.
It's like
gun.
a
They
Dodge
use the-
Carnival.
I know, when I
they
saw it,
don't
I was like,
use
what?
that chain gun.
You get
Yeah,
a
but
truck.
inside also there's like
You get
dope
a truck.
guns for them
Fantastic.
to use. It's weird.
You get a truck.
Okay, I got a question
get a
for you.
truck. Yeah.
There's a scene in the movie where Tango? No. Who's Tango? Who's Cash? Cash is
Tango is Stallone.
Tango is
Cash
Stallone, that's
is
right.
Yeah.
Cash is Russell. Where
Russell.
Cash produces a bullet that he then twists to reveal it is a
Yeah.
key or a lock pick.
Yeah.
And it got me wondering,
Lockpick,
That's so he
yeah.
why would you carry around what looks like a dangerous and illegal item to conceal a less dangerous and illegal item? And that's what I thought. I was like, what would that be like if you had a bag of cocaine and inside was a single Tylenol, right? You'd be like, wow, that's weird. You kept something very mundane inside something very dangerous. And it got me thinking. The only thing I could think of was, remember when I was a kid, had switchblade combs. They look like knives, but you flip them open and they were combs.
Yeah, I remember those.
That's basically the same thing as you don't remember that?
Yep.
Like a greaser flip knife, right?
I do.
Like you'd flip it and then the blade would
Yeah,
flip up
yeah,
like
yeah.
a switchblade, but it'd be a comb, and
Yeah.
then kids would have it. He'd be like, "Oh, look, I'm so cool. I got a knife. Haha, no, it's a comb." We thought that was cool, but we were white, so we wouldn't get shot by the cops. So, but that's the only thing I could think of that being like a bullet that turns into a key pick or a lock pick is basically the equivalent of a switchblade comb. It looks dangerous, ends up being mundane. And if he wasn't a cop, he'd look like a psychopath for carrying around a single bullet.
Well,
But I
good
did
thing
tell
he's a
Heather that
cop.
if you had a hammer, I also said if you have a bullet and a gun, you always have a lock pick. You just need to
yes.
shoot the lock. But it makes more noise. So I just thought that was weird.
True. Well, and what if you accidentally load the lockpick into your gun?
Do you
you're in
think
a
it has?
firefight, things are happening.
It's not going to fire.
It'd be hilarious if it had
Probably
gunpowder
not.
in it, and it just shot a lockpick through a guy, and somehow opened the door. Like that's a total John Peters thing.
Goes through the
Like he
guy
shoots.
into the lock.
He shoots
It
the
is.
bullet. He shoots it into the lock to open a door. Like, come on.
Yep.
Someone thought of that.
Okay, I want to get
It's in
through.
the same script with the shrunken guys inside the rat maze.
I just want to get through my notes for Tango Cash because I have 2 pages of notes with a lot of questions.
Why?
So hitting brakes is like hitting a wall apparently because they go flying through the glass. And one thing I always wondered, why did he change his bullets? He had a fully loaded gun. He emptied it and he put in all new rounds.
Was it a different type of round?
I don't know if it might have been a different type of round is what I'm thinking. I wrote down broken ankles, Kurt Russell, when he jumps out the window, but apparently he actually did tear a ligament in his leg doing that stunt. Like he didn't actually jump from that 2-story window, but when he jumped down, he actually tore something in his leg. That guy stole Marty McFly's truck. The bad guy running away. I'm like, that's Marty McFly's truck. Boobs. I have in big letters an exclamation point. Boobs.
Boobs?
Yep.
Gratuitous boobage.
Yep. Laser on top of Kurt Russell's gun adds at least 10 pounds.
Oh my God. It looked like he was about to clock a fastball. Like it looked like a radar gun.
Gabe, I was going to ask you, the meetup building where they're both, looking for the limey.
Yeah.
I think that's the same building from the Blade Runner.
From Blade Runner. Is that what's the name of that building? It's a very famous it used to be a hotel in LA.
Right.
I know what it is. One of my buddies actually went there and took photos of it just for me. And it looks pretty much the same. Just not as dramatically lit at most times.
Yep.
And I think it's interesting there too, because Brian James was in Blade Runner. I don't know if he appears in that building in Blade Runner.
The Fig. The Fig.
I also put down. I think that is it.
That's from chat.
The building.
Yeah,
Bradbury. Bradbury. Hotel. Yeah, I think it's a Bradbury. Anyway,
I also put down butts. Had to show off some butts. How did Tango get to the fans?
Guy butts.
Guy butts. Someone should fix their electric grid. I mean, that's very dangerous.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Jesus Christ.
And I
was telling Heather, I was like, no, people are pretty conductive.
On 80s. Yeah. They have great zooming for 80s video calls, like when Jack Palance is talking to the other two via the video call and James Hong is smoking his 10 cigarettes. Like it zoomed in to both of them. I'm like, let's see. The police lab is like a Bond
why
film.
is the camera even moving?
The police lab is like a Bond film, and you just broke out of prison and you go to the police lab.
Multiple times they go to police or government buildings, and they don't wear hats. No hats, no sunglasses. This is Cop 101.
That stunt double is definitely not Sly. When the garage blows
There's
up,
a lot of that. James Hong's too. When James Hong gets shot, that dude looks nothing like James Hong.
Yep. I also have boobs again because we see boobs. I wrote down that cassette tape that he's holding when he gets it from what's his name? Green Mile guy. I'm like, holy crap! I had a shit ton of those cassette tapes.
I still do.
Still do.
What's that? Michael Jeter. Yep. Derek Jeter. I want
that
truck.
That's Derek Jeter's brother.
Yep. Let's see. What's up with what's up with all the mazes was on there. The self-destruct guys. We got to talk about this guy has a talking self-destruct to his compound.
The joke too. Either this clock works backwards or someone just pushed a button or something like that.
Yeah.
This is a great time to make a joke.
And it's for 11 minutes. Like what?
Yeah,
like
it's very
11
random.
and a half minutes or something. I love the fact, absolutely love the fact that they are not paying attention at all while he's monologuing. Like they're talking to each other while he's monologuing. They just do not give a shit. And I thought that was great. And I wrote down I want Tango and Cash too. But I don't think we'll ever see it.
You might get it.
So
that
for-
scene
It'll
too,
have
where
to be
they
like
were,
it'll have to be their
they were,
kids.
oh God,
yeah.
When they were doing the kneecaps on 3, I had just seen the Naked Gun, the new Naked Gun, and I immediately thought the
Yes.
funniest joke here is they both reach for it, one of them misses, and the other one shoots Terry Hatcher.
Yes. Yes.
I'd be like, that's a great joke. Jack Palance is just there alive. There's a broken mirror and a dead Terry Hatcher. Be like, oh shit.
And allegedly, just so you guys know, Megan Fox is in the Club Hell scene.
Oh.
And that's all I got.
Well, if I were up in
Those are all my notes.
that special suite, I probably would have seen her because they could see everybody from up there. They recognized the people
can
in
see
this
everybody.
huge crowd immediately.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if I'd been up there, maybe I would have seen her. Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like every female lead in Michael Bay's movies since this have just been kind of like another version of Téa Leoni. Like she is, like Megan Fox just feels like a little bit like more modern version, and Michael Bay definitely has a type when it comes to the girls he puts into his movies.
Oh my
and the
God.
last thing
I
want
forgot to bring up the.
What?
Go ahead, Tom. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, what can't be denied is how influential Bad Boys was on the direction of action comedies at that point. It's rare that we get a movie where you can go back and pinpoint when a whole nother offshoot of a type of movie and a style of direction took off, and it just kind of caught the zeitgeist.
Right.
Pulp Fiction with like multi storyline movies, and I just and Bad Boys, as much as it kills me to say this, is one of those movies. Is one of those touchstones where it just went off, and we got to see things that we never even imagined. And I don't know, a lot of credit goes to it.
I was just going to say that you forgot your boarding pass explosion. I absolutely love it. That's the one thing I wanted to bring up is when Martin Short shoots it and the guy comes flying out the other side. The sound design on that, or Martin Short, Martin Short. Movie.
This is a different movie.
That's a weird cutaway where they brought him in for that one shot.
It was really weird. I'm like, that he's okay. I'll buy it. But yeah, when he goes flying out, the sound design of that's
a cool shot.
When he's flying through the air is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. There, I'm done.
All right.
I'm spent.
Are we ready to make this happen?
Yes, please.
All right.
Let's go. Let's wrap it up. Let's go.
Let's do it. We'll start off. Gabe, overall.
Well, I'm going to have to go with Bad Boys.
Wow. Okay.
Is that your Jack Palance impression?
Maybe.
No, it was his Martin Short.
No.
Oh.
Tom.
Ronald Reagan impression.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the better movie. What you gonna do? Bad Boys.
Okay.
Bad Boys.
Mike.
Really?
All right. There it is.
I got rim shot. I got rim shot. Let's go. Let's wrap this up.
Mike, I don't even have to
I'm
ask.
gonna go with
probably,
Bad Boys.
But yeah, okay. And Kyle.
Oh, can I make this a sweep for Bad Boys? That feels bad, boys. Yeah, Bad Boys is the better movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like how it's like
I'm just going to call it out since we're live. We're recording this, and we're also recording live on Twitch. But Lord of Pone said that Martin Short and Martin Lawrence are both 5'7".
Hey,
See,
so they're really Martin average.
it was perfect then.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's really depressing.
All right, so Tango and Cash. Let's talk a little bit about why both these productions were kind of in chaos the entire time. So Tango and Cash. The production was beset with problems from the very start. The intended star Patrick Swayze dropped out. Principal photography began without even a completed script. Sylvester Stallone had the original director of photography Barry Sonnenfeld fired. Then John Peters fired Andrea Konchaklowski. The film ultimately went $20 million over budget in the 80s. $20 million over budget, and had to be completely re-edited by Stuart Bard prior to the release. Holy crap. Bad Boys.
Well,
I mean, that was
kudos to
1989.
kudos
Like,
to him and his team.
Yeah.
They made a movie
No
out
shit.
of
anything
it.
out of it.
Yeah.
That's like $100 million sale.
I know, it's insane. Bad Boys. Michael Bay mentions in the commentary a fight he had with Will Smith near the end of production. It was one of those last shots of the movie where Bay wanted Smith to say, "Hey man, I love you," to Martin Lawrence. He felt it would show Smith's character's softer side. But Smith decided on the day they were to shoot it that he didn't want to say the line. Bay remembers the argument lasted an hour and a half. Tay Leone and Lawrence both joining in at some point. Bay finally relented, saying Smith didn't have to say the line. He then pointed to the sun and explained to Smith, and I quote, "That's motherfucking nature, and she's not fucking waiting for us," unquote. They shot the scene, and Smith just
I
said
love
the
that
line. So, yeah, sounds like there was trouble in paradise for both of these movies. All right.
Will Smith has issues.
It kind of sounds like it
Yep.
wasn't recent. Okay, let's
No,
move
he's had issues for a while.
on to our fabulous recommendations. Yeah, so we're going to start off with Tom.
Our fabulous Tom is for our recommendations.
Mm-hmm.
Tom
So I
is
couldn't really come up with
fabulous, I
another,
agree.
but I couldn't really come up with another buddy cop type movie to do. So I'm going to do a recent movie. Look, if you're a fan of Happy Gilmore, and you haven't seen the new one yet, I really think you should check it out. Is it a spectacular Citizen Kane of golf? No, not at all. But it does a lot of fan service. I kind of looked at it the same way I looked at Force Awakens. I was like, yeah, there's a lot of derivative stuff in here, but it's really fun. If you know Happy Gilmore inside and out, you're going to love all of the little references and little twists they take on a lot of the jokes from the first one. And really, a lot of the fun of the movie is the 77 plus cameos that are in it.
Yeah.
It's not that it's, that there's a lot of people in it, but that these people, all these other famous people wanted to be in this and be a part of this, this sequel and this moment in film. Not because they knew it was going to be good, but because because Happy Gilmore was in some way a part of their life, whether they're golfers or movie stars or whatever. They wanted to be a part of it and be a part of the story. And, we go to movie theaters to be like in this community of film and to like experience a film together. And this is kind of another way to do that, is all of these famous people that if you saw Eminem on the street, you'd be like, "You love Happy Gilmore? I love Happy Gilmore too," jackass. So I just think it's definitely worth a watch. If you are not a fan of Adam Sandler and or Happy Gilmore, then I would like to present you with 4 other recommendations from my cohorts.
It is a good one. I enjoyed it and laughed many times. So, all right, Mike.
I did. I laughed way more than I thought I was going to.
I did too.
All right. Well, I mean, the 80s and 90s are absolutely full of buddy cop films, and a lot of them are not great. But there are a lot more great buddy cop films than there are bad. I don't know if that even made any sense. Anyway, I'm going to go to one that I actually rewatched recently, and I forgot how much I enjoyed it. And it's Running Scared from
Oh.
1986, directed by Peter Hyams.
Holy cow.
It stars Gregory Hines, Billy Crystal, Stephen Bauer, and Joe Pants is in it. So it makes it just that much better. So yeah, check out Running Scared.
Yeah. All right. That's a good one. Kyle.
Oh no, not me. Boy, always have to check my list of movies I've seen recently. Running Scared. I've never seen. I remember that cover of the VHS. It's like the two of them,
Yep.
like sitting in the background.
Like all buddy cop movies from the
so
80s.
I was looking through my list. I saw it's a crime movie. It's the opposite of a Michael Bay movie in that it doesn't have a million locations. It literally has, I think, one in the whole movie. And it's very understated and kind of quiet. But I watched it and was enthralled by it and really liked the way it was done. It's a British film starring Mark Rylance and like nobody else that I know. It's called The Outfit. It's a gangster movie, basically, that takes place all inside of a tailor shop one night, where a tailor does some work on the side for a local crime family, and he gets kind of caught up in some of the things going on around the city. But it's almost like a stage play where everything takes place inside the shop. People enter and leave, things enter and leave, things are revealed throughout everything. And I really enjoyed it. So if you get a chance, check it out. It's called The Outfit.
Huh. I have not heard of that one. All right, Gabe.
Yeah, sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So I felt like Stallone was basically Rambo in a suit in Tango and Cash. And
You're wrong,
when I was
Gabe.
watching
Rambo
it, I
is a
thought,
pussy.
why not? Right, yeah. But if you want to see Stallone acting like Rambo, just go watch Rambo. I recommend you just go back and watch Rambo: First Blood Part 2. If you're into big explosions and machine guns and Stallone, killing people, that kind of thing, just go back and watch Rambo. I loved it when I was a kid. I don't even know why my parents let me watch it, because I would have been about 15. I think it came out in 85. Yeah, I would have been about 15. I just gave away my age, but that's okay. I would have been 15. I don't know why my parents let me watch it. But I love it, and even was at a survey. And it had all of it. It had the compass in the handle. It had the you could screw off the end, and it had fireproof matches, waterproof matches, a star saw, various other trinkets inside, and it was a good. I didn't get the real Rambo one because it was very expensive. I got some cheap knockoff, but it was it was probably pretty dangerous. But I didn't kill any of my siblings or anything with it. So, yeah, if you want to see, a Stallone action movie, just go watch Rambo.
Very true. All right. I'm gonna actually do a buddy cop film. I was shocked that no one has recommended this, which I was kind of surprised with. It is probably one of my favorite quirky buddy cop films, and that's Hot Fuzz, and it's part of the Three Flavors Cornetto trilogy. And if you haven't seen the three of
Oh my
them,
God, we haven't recommended it?
no, I had to look, and sure enough, we've never recommended Hot Fuzz. So I highly recommend watching Hot Fuzz. It is a fantastic, Simon Pegg, Nick Frost. How can you go wrong? And if you want to watch the whole thing, Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and The World's End in that order, get you that trilogy. But Hot Fuzz is it's really fantastic. It's super fun. So Hot Fuzz. That's my
Are you
recommendation.
telling me you've never seen Bad Boys 2?
I've seen all four.
Have you
Mike.
ever fired your gun up in the air whilst going
While going ah. So yeah.
I was just in Ireland and I told everybody I'm eating a cornetto before I leave. So I did eat the blue cornetto for Hot Fuzz.
Oh, nice.
And it was delicious.
It is. All right. Well,
That was good.
I'm pretty sure that if you've been following along, you can figure this out. But the monkey has come back. I think the monkey found a friend. They may have calculated it twice, but we'll see. Let's hit up the winner circle and see who won tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Your winner by decision is Bad Boy!
Yep, that.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
Even come for you.
With a 12-4 sweep there. Yep, that was pretty much it right there. All right. Well, please leave us a review on whatever podcasting service you use. It helps us reach new listeners. And if you like us, tell your friends. If you hate us, tell your enemies. You can contact us at cinesmack@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook, or search Cinesmack. If you want to listen to an unedited version of the show, you can catch us live on Twitch whenever we record an episode, like you're doing right now. And we also have a YouTube channel where you can watch the recorded Twitch videos and also listen to the podcasts. So, yeah, that's pretty exciting. In September, we peer into the lives of some of our beloved actors from our childhood with Still, a Michael J. Fox movie, versus Superman, the Christopher Reeve story. So, for Gabe, Kyle, Tom, Mike, and myself, thanks for listening, and go catch a flick.